The restaurant does not have a background for customers to check in. Moreover, the form of the dish does not look beautiful. After tasting a piece, just want to vomit out. After hearing this, Saroy admired Yi-so very much. He immediately made her the restaurant manager. He asked everyone to follow Yi-so's orders. At the same time, the president discovered the female director has bought a lot of shares. At this rate, this person will become a major shareholder and can dethrone the chairman. The worried president quickly went to meet the female director and asked if she had any other ideas. Yi-so here first had the wall demolished to increase the area. She used her design talent to redecorate the restaurant. And soon, the space was very beautiful for everyone to check in and take photos. Soon, the day the shop reopened, Yi-so used social networks to promote the pub. Her Instagram was famous, so many people were interested thanks to her. Danbam pub was very crowded. There were even many people waiting in line outside. Although the staff were busy, everyone was happy. Su-ah saw that and was very angry, and Saroyi inside was extremely proud of Yi-so. Just that day, their revenue was more than 3 million won. The next day, the president and Su-ah walked on Itaewon Street to survey the situation. He opened up that he wanted Su-ah to marry his son, Jong-won, but Su-ah hated him so much that he did not respond to the president's words. He took this opportunity to lead Su-ah to the door of Danbam restaurant. Seeing that the restaurant was crowded, the president asked Su-ah to do something to vandalize this restaurant. A few days later, the restaurant was still as crowded as the first day, but because the chef was on leave, Saroyi had to come in and cook instead. Work was still going smoothly. The next day, customers suddenly complained that there was hair in the food. The table next to complained that the food was too bland. Chef Hyun-yi's work was negligent, making Yi-so extremely angry. She scolded the chef and said she had to work very focused. Then, Yi-so wants him to fire Hyun-yi so that the restaurant doesn't close. Saroyi called the chef in to point out the problem, but he was kind, so he didn't fire her and suddenly doubled Hyun-yi's salary. Saroyi wanted her to try hard to be worthy with the money she received. At the same time, he gave a speech to strengthen everyone's spirit. Everyone should unite and strive together. Only Yi-so was a bit sad because Saroyi did not listen to her. The next morning, Yi-so accidentally met a group of friends who were bullies. They came here and wanted to strip to humiliate Yi-so. Fortunately, Gonsu appeared in time through an argument with her classmates. She admitted that she was the one who told the police to make them drink that day. Yi-so suddenly realized that he had mistakenly blamed Su-ah, so he slapped this friend. The other friend rushed forward and was also accidentally slapped. The other friend saw that she was scared, so she quickly backed away. As expected, Yi-so was as stubborn as Saroyi in the following days. Yi-so often came to check on Hyun-yi's dishes. Thanks to that, Hyun-yi also improved her cooking skills. Saroyi successfully resolved the internal conflict and brought the restaurant up. At the same time, at the pub, Su-ah was sitting and remembering the president's words. He said which side Su-ah wanted to join. It was so painful that she drank herself until she was drunk. On the way home, she accidentally met Saroyi and his group. Seeing that this was a private matter, so everyone left, only Yi-so stayed. Su-ah in a drunken state confessed all her feelings. Su-ah's sparkling eyes touched Saroyi's heart. It suddenly became romantic. The two of them just went to kiss in front of Yi-so. When their lips were almost touching, Yi-so promptly used her hand to squeeze Su-ah's mouth and push her away. After all, she wanted Saroyi's lips to remain intact. Su-ah was embarrassed and immediately sobered. But because she wanted to tease Yi-so, she kept asking to go eat with Saroyi's group. Saroyi couldn't refuse, so he agreed, which made the whole group's atmosphere extremely uncomfortable, especially for Yi-so. Su-ah said that the reason Jong-a Group is successful is because they operate in the form of a restaurant chain. Moreover, it was the purpose of the group. The president who created the recipe that is why they are so successful. Immediately, Saroyi immediately expressed his wish. He said he would turn Danbam restaurant into a larger franchise chain than Jong-a Group. Hearing this, everyone was extremely excited. The whole group raised a glass to realize this dream. After drinking, Su-ah and Yi-so had a dramatic conversation in the restroom again. Yi-so said she had oppositional defiant disorder. She said she really liked Saroy. If anyone got in her way, she would use any trick to destroy that person. Unexpectedly, Soo-ah was not inferior. She declared that if she liked, the two would fight. On the other hand, at the office of the president of Jong-A Group, Soo-ah said that Jong-A Pub was very successful. They were so crowded because of Yi-so's management. Heard that she has a record-high IQ of 162. Soo-ah also said that Saroy wants to become a franchise restaurant chain. When the president heard that, he was a little worried. He was afraid that Danbam will be a competitor to Jong-A in the future. Danbam's side is getting more and more crowded. Yi-so plans to recruit more people to prepare to expand the restaurant. Instead of receiving a salary, she will receive a 20% commission. Unfortunately, Yi-so's mother knew that she had dropped out of college to work at a bar and was extremely angry. But Yi-so said that she already liked Saroy and that she wanted to strive for success, even if she failed. The mother and daughter could not find a common voice. Yi-so had to say goodbye to her mother, then picked up her backpack and left home while she was sat on the bridge. Saroy ran past. He knew that her mother had kicked her out for dropping out of college to work with him. Saroy was very grateful. At the same time, he also felt sorry for her. He comforted Yi-so in a very naive way, but that made Yi-so feel much happier. The two of them made a promise to help the store reach the culinary peak, becoming a franchise chain surpassing Jong-A Group. The two of them stood on the bridge, talking about the future until dawn. Because the restaurant was growing more and more, it needed to recruit more staff. Unexpectedly, candidates came for interviews where all people who couldn't work. Later, a very pretty girl came to apply for a job. Seeing this girl, the employee and Saroy were very happy. Seeing this, Yi-so immediately refused to accept her, making the employee extremely disappointed. At the end of the interview, a black guy came to apply. His name was Tony, and he was Polish-Korean. Yi-so thought it was okay, so he accepted the job immediately. Because he wanted Danban Pub to grow stronger than Yi-so, called the television station to ask for an interview, but unexpectedly they agreed to a recording session. When Saroy received this news, he was extremely happy. He accidentally revealed this to Soo-ah. The two went for a walk together and talked a lot. John Won saw this and was very jealous. He went home to report what happened for Dad. The president knows that Saroy is a person with more will than others. His corporation is very afraid of people like Saroy, so they made a plan to destroy Saroy's Danban restaurant. The next day, Saroy went to the TV station to exchange the recording script. He suddenly met Gunwon, who was also there. He used his relationship to exclude Danban Pub from that recording. Saroy suddenly realized that Soo-ah had revealing this. Gunwon said that he would make him fail, but Saroy replied that he would cause his company to collapse because the recording session was cancelled. Saroy was very sad. Yi-so was by his side, encouraging and comforting. The two then walked on the street and suddenly met Soo-ah, but this time, Saroy coldly walked by, making her very sad. Unexpectedly, Yi-so then kindly told Saroy the truth. The person who called the police that day was not Soo-ah. Upon hearing this, Saroy immediately ran to find Soo-ah to apologize. After running for a while, he saw her at the bus stop. Saroy immediately took Soo-ah's hand. He said that he would be determined to deal with the Jong-A Group soon, so that she would not have to suffer. At this moment, the bus arrived. The two of them parted ways from here. After Soo-ah left, Saroy immediately called a mysterious person who was monitoring Jong-A Group stocks. This person reported that Saroy's shares were worth more than 10 billion won. Saroy immediately ordered to buy all of Jong-A's shares. Hearing this news, the assistant rushed to inform the president. Saroy had bought a lot of Jong-A's shares. It turned out Saroy bought shares 8 years ago, which was also when Jongwon had a scandal that caused the shares to hit rock bottom at extremely low prices. Now, Saroy is the third largest shareholder of Jong-A Group. When he learned about this, the chairman was shocked. He laughed to the point of going crazy. He didn't expect Saroy to be so good. President Jong immediately went to Danban Pub to meet Saroy. He thought Saroy was a child. He thought Saroy was a chicken, but turned out to be a fox. 8 years ago, he was using all of his father's insurance money to to buy stocks from the person who murdered his father. Both faces proved extremely dangerous. However, Saroui still welcomed him very thoughtfully. He gave orders for the chef to cook as deliciously as possible. Saroui personally brought the food to the table. The president suddenly asked him what was the purpose of buying his shares and why did he buy so much. At this point, everyone was stunned because they knew Saroui had a lot of money. Of course, Saroui could not say his intention to acquire Jonga Group. He lied that he bought it because he saw potential.